Hello Sewmates, welcome to Sew with Adeshola. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by, and to all our returning viewers and subscribers, you're welcome. So in today's tutorial, I'll be taking you through how to draft and cut this beautiful gown that you're seeing on the screen right now with stylish sleeve. If this is something you're interested in, let's get right into it. So I have gone ahead to divide my pattern paper into two, which is for the front and the back. Now I'll be drafting the front pattern first. To do this, I'm going to rule a straight line, which is going to serve as my shoulder line. And from that shoulder line, I'm going to come down by 10 inches from my bust line and then go down to 16 inches from my waistline. So I'm just going to go ahead and extend those lines like that. You are also to go ahead and do that. And from the waistline, I'll be coming down by 9 inches from my hip line. So if yours is also 9 inches, go ahead and come down by 9 inches for your hip line. Then you go ahead to the starting line, which is also the shoulder line, to mark out the actual length of your gown. So for me, I'll be making use of 43 inches. So I'll just go ahead and rule that out as well. Then I'll go back to my shoulder line and mark out my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So for me it is 7.5. Then at that 7.5 point, you come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Then go ahead and mark your neck width, and that from that neck width, I'll be connecting a slant line to the shoulder slope. So now the next thing is to draw out our armhole line. And to do this, I came down to my bust line and took 7.5 as well, what I took on my shoulder line. But here there is a mistake, and that's because I didn't label my line. So please do not make that mistake. Endeavor to label your lines. And to correct that, I came to my shoulder slant like that and came down by 7.5, which is going to give me my chest line. I hope you get that now. So I'm trying to correct that mistake now and labeling it. So please, when marking out your lines, endeavor to label them to avoid this kind of mistake. I hope you understand that. And now, having done that, the next thing for us is to draw out our armhole curve. To do this, divide your armhole line, which is 7.5 in my own case, into 2. Divide it into 2 like that and make a point. Then go in by half of an inch like so. After which, I'm just going to go to my chest line and mark my round bust measurement divided by 4. So for me it is 8.5. Then I connected from that half inch to the round bust measurement and also to the shoulder slant. I hope you get that. So I'll go ahead to draw out our neckline, and I'm using 3 by 3, as you can see, 3 for the neck width and 3 for the neck depth. So now the next thing is to take our dart, is to draw out our dart. And to do that, I came to my waistline and took my bust span, which is 4 inches. Your nipple to nipple, it's also the bust span, and from that go up by 5 inches and also come down by 5 inches at that 4 inches point. I hope you understand. So for me to be sure of my dot, I came to that 5-inch line and also mark out my 4 inches. I hope you understand that part. It's just to be sure that at that 5-inch point I have my 4-inch, which is my bust span. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to take ½ inch on that side, then connect it to the dart line like that. So the 2 dart legs, just connect it downward and also upward. So that's going to be for the upper bodice and the down, which is the skirt part. I hope you understand that. Now after we are done with that, the next thing we are going to do is to take our measurement. So I went ahead and took my round bust measurement divided by 4 on the bust line. Then come to your waistline and take your round waist measurement divided by 4. Then add 1 inch to it, which is the 1 inch we took for our dart. I hope you understand. We took half inch on one leg and half inch on the other leg, which makes it 1 inches. So you're going to add it back to your waist measurement, and after which you will come down to your hip line and mark your hip measurement, also divided by 4. So for me it is 9 inches. Then I went ahead using my cover to connect from the waistline to the hip line, like so. So just go ahead and do yours. Then at the length of your gown, minus half inch, or you can do 1 inch if you want your skirt, if you want your gown to be very pencil. So just go ahead and minus half inch. For me, I minus half inch from what you have on your hip line, then connect it from the hip to that point. I hope you understand. So, but because my own ruler is short, I had to come to the middle like that and take my 8.5 also at the middle, then connect to the length of my gown. So I hope you understand. If you want your gown to be more pencil, minus 1, which is going to be 8. Then I went ahead to add 1 inch for sewing allowance, which later on when cutting I'm still going to add half inch to it, because I feel that 1 inch will not be really good enough, so I'll be using 1.5 inch. But if you like, you can use 1 inch as well. It's still going to be very perfect. Now after we are done with that, the next thing is to mark out our neckline, the desired neckline. So I'll be coming down by 6 inch from the starting line, like so. Then I'll go in by 4.5. You can decide to use 4, you can decide to use 4.25 or 4.5 or even 5, depending on how wide you want your neckline to be. But I will recommend 4.25 or 4.5. You don't want your boobs to be revealing. Then you will come down by 1 inch from that round neckline. I hope you see what I did right there. So come down by 1 inch and then connect it to that 4.5, like so. So that's going to give us our desired neckline. I hope you understand that as well. If there is any question you want to ask me, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Now the next thing we'll be doing is to draft out the back pattern. Just like I did for the front, I'll also be taking my desired shoulder measurement, like so, just like what we did for the front. No, there is nothing much like that. So from there I will take my back neckline. So for the back neckline I'm using 1.5, like so. Then I'll proceed to mark out my chest line, which is 7.5 from that from the slope. I hope you understand it. So I went ahead to take my 7.5 like that, and that's going to be my chest line. You can see that I corrected that mistake compared to what I did at the front. So that's just basically it. And then from the starting line I'm going to mark my waistline for the back, and that is 15 inches. Basically our front waistline and back waistline is not always the same. It's not always the same, so make sure you measure your back neckline and your back waistline rather. So also I came down by 9 inches for the length of my hip line, and also went ahead to take my gown measurement for the length of my gown. So that's what I did right here, as you can see. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to take our armhole cuff. Just like what we did for the front, you're going to do the same thing for the back. Measure your round bust measurement divided by 4 on your chest line, then divide your armhole into 2, go in by ½ inch, and then connect. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to mark out my waistline, just like my dart rather. just like I did for the front. But if you observe this pattern paper for the back, there is no zipper allowance. Yes, I didn't have my zipper allowance, so I'll be adding the zipper allowance on the fabric itself. I hope you get it. So, but you can as well decide to add your own zipper allowance on the pattern paper. So all I'm doing here is just the normal things I did with the front, taking my darts like so. So on that waistline, I came in by ½ inch. You can decide to come in by 1 inch to remove my zipper bulge like so. Then I went ahead to connect it straight, slanted a bit to the waist, to the hip line, and also to the neckline. Then I went ahead to take my measurement for my waistline, just like we did for the front. Go ahead and do the same thing for the back. So I would like to take a minute of your time to appreciate you for staying with us to this moment. And if you are here to subscribe, kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share. And as you do so, the Lord will bless you. Amen. So now the next thing is to mark out our body measurements like that, like we marked it out on the lines already. So just go ahead, connect the dots together like I am doing right now, and then we are done. We are almost done rather with the drafting of the front and back piece. Now once you are done with that, the next thing is for us to take our side dart, which is also the bust dart. So this is the difference between the back and the front. I hope you understand, which is 1 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead, mark out my bust span like that, then connect it to that 1 inch difference. So we are going to be taking that in. Then we are going to go ahead and measure what we have on that round neckline to determine what to use for our bead. So for me, I have 5 inches there. I'm going to remove 1 inch, so I have 4 inches. And you know our pattern is on fold. That's going to be 8 inches for the length of the bead at the neckline. I hope you understand what I'm trying to pass across there. Then I'll just go ahead and cut out my pattern paper like this. So that's just all, basically all for the front and the back. Then I went ahead to cut it open like this, both the front and the back pattern. Then I went ahead to add my allowance at the front and for the back as well. So on the side I added 1/2 inch, and at the base I added 1.5 for hemming. I hope you understand. And for the back as well, I added 1 inch for my zipper allowance. I hope you can see that. So I added 1/2 inch for joining at the waistline. And then for the upper bodies, what I did was that I added 1/2 inch all round, 1/2 inch all round. So that's just basically all. And then yes, and at the zipper place, the zipper, I added 1 inch for the zipper allowance, just like I did for the down piece. I hope you understand that. And so that's just all for this tutorial. See you in my next tutorial. Thank you so much for sticking with me to this time, and I promise you that the next tutorial is going to be quite interesting. So see you in my next tutorial. Bye.